So welcome to a new Game Stuff episode, and I've been looking forward to talking about some of these items down below, some really interesting things. But before I get started, I will ask you guys, what have you picked up lately in the way of video games or merchandise or just something like that, even a t-shirt, something you picked up? Let everybody know down below. Okay, I got some games to talk about, but of course, I'm going to start off with some vinyl here. And one of these arrived and I was like, oh my god, finally. This is a soundtrack that I've been listening to for the last 4 years since the game came out, and I saw the release on vinyl and everybody was tweeting at me about it, and I was like, yes, I know, and I'm going to pick it up. And here we go. Ys 8, the Lacrimosa of Donna here, the original soundtrack. And wow, just to hold this in my hands, and I haven't had a really good look at it because I always put it away so I can do these episodes and have kind of a first reaction. So exciting. Look at the beautiful artwork on there, representing a phenomenal game. And I talked about it. I gave this game a 10 out of 10 in one of my episodes, and I stand by it, and I always will. An absolutely excellent action RPG set on a not-so-deserted island, and it's all about exploration of the island and all that. Great action RPG, as I say. Great stuff. And also, it came with this beautiful little piece of artwork here for ordering it. So, yeah, man, like, it's kind of cool. I'm getting the soundtracks that I really love on vinyl, and I love listening to them on a Sunday, usually when I do it, and having a coffee and just being able to take them in again and just kind of relive those moments, right? That's what I'm buying this music for, is to relive those moments I had. And Lacrimosa of Donna is very, very special to me, and I know it is for a lot of you out there. And a lot of you have written to me saying, hey, I never played this game until you recommended it. And what a compliment that is. And even the other day, for Canada Day here, I did a little drawing of Adol from the E-Series for the Canada Day. I put it up and all that. And so many people wrote back to me saying, yeah, thank you for getting me into Ys. And it was such a nice little moment. And I thought, the channel has been successful in that I got more people into the E-Series. So that's only a wonderful thing. If you haven't jumped on the Ys bandwagon, please jump in. Okay, this next item is an accident. Is it a happy accident? Yes and no. Yes and no. This is really, I canceled this item. I thought I did, but it came out anyways, and I guess I got charged for it. I didn't even notice, unfortunately. Am I happy to have it? This is a strange bag for me, man. Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes. The soundtrack right here. Should I be excited about this game? For the soundtrack? Well, at first, when I ordered it, I thought it was for the PC Engine TurboGrafx game. A game that I adore from my childhood, and I'm going to talk about it in the future. I got some episodes planned for it. A really great old school RPG with some terrible voice acting, but the music, man, hits me. It reminds me of being 16, 17, 18 years old during that time in my life. And so when I ordered this, I thought that's what this was going to be, but it isn't. It is the PC original version from Japan. So I listened to somebody actually opened this up and was playing it, and I got to listen to some of the music, and I'm like, I don't recognize this. I don't recognize that. I'm like, oh wait, I recognize that song, but it's so different than the original. So if you see this up there, you're a TurboGrafx fan, beware that it's from the PC original game from Japan. It's not from the PC Engine version in Japan. So I'm glad to have it for a part of history, but it's not one that I can completely relate to. Okay, we'll get into some games here. And I ordered this right away. It arrived. Actually, that's the one thing about Canada and Amazon. You order a game, I think the game was released on the Thursday night. I didn't get this till like the Tuesday. It's funny how that works out and stuff like that. And Nintendo offered me a review copy, but I was just like, no. I've ordered a copy, and I just want to play the game. I don't want to get into a mega-sized review. I just want to experience what it is, and that's Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. And this is a game that I've been very, very interested in, and I think we're hitting the peak of what you can do on the Nintendo Switch. I think we've hit it for graphical looks, and I think this game is a good-looking game. The reason why I picked it up is because I'm a huge fan of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and as time's going on, I'm thinking back to that game. I did a full review. I had that game early from Nintendo, and I played the Emblem crap out of it, and it's awesome. It's a really, really good game. And it's one of those games, I know, this is the nostalgia show. I started to get nostalgic about that game already. And kind of wanting a next generation Fire Emblem game. And I thought this one could take me to that point. And what this is an action RPG, kind of like the Warrior series of the past. And I'm kind of into it, man. I think I like these characters. I like the characters that were introduced in Three Houses, and they're back here. It's kind of like an alternate timeline idea going on, but I think it looks really beautiful, and I can't wait to play it. And I'll tell you, I'll talk about it in games I've been playing recently. I think I've got one upcoming with Rob, if I can get him over here, so we can talk about some games. And this is one of those ones I'll have played a lot of by that time. Okay, I did a full review on this game, and it's so funny sometimes I do some of these reviews and you never know if they're going to go to big or small. I base doing a review on a game that I think I'm going to like, right? So I don't do a lot of reviews. People think, oh, he reviews a lot of stuff and he likes everything. I do maybe about 7 or 8 reviews of games a year, like a full-on review, because I only want to review games that I think I'm really going to enjoy, and I only reach out to the companies to get the game early if it's a game I think I'm going to enjoy, right? So I knew I was going to love this game before I ever reviewed it. I was like, I have a funny feeling, so I ordered 2 copies of it right here. Capcom Fighting Collection on the Nintendo Switch and on the PS4. And when I reviewed the game, did it live up to my expectations? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It was wonderful, finally, and this is why I had to get both of these. This means something. Because we finally got Darkstalkers all in one big collection, and it's great, and they're all there. That's what's cool about it. And you got Cyberbots in there as well. The big one for me was Warzard, Red Earth, kind of a fighting RPG. There's some RPG mechanics going on in there that set it apart from other fighting games. Yes, it shows its age a little bit. It's really big characters, kind of, a little bit limited animation, but still part of an incredible time in Capcom's history. And that's why I had to snag these, and I was like, wow. Even doing the review for this game was a pure pleasure, because I got to talk about all these games from my time, right? These are not new games. These are games from the 90s when I was like 16, 17 years old, and that's why I was like, oh, I can't wait to review the game. And it's funny because I mark on my calendar things I'm going to review, and it's like maybe one game a month, if that. But for this one, I said, absolutely, Capcom Fighting Collection, I'm in, I'm sold. And Stadium Second Collection is coming out by Capcom, and I'm going to review that as well. The one thing about that game that upsets me, there is no physical copy. And there was no physical copy of the first one. I think it's because they're selling DLC online, so you have to download the games at times if you don't buy the whole big game. That's fine, but man, I hope in the future they release a physical copy of that, because what that means at that point, for me personally, I guess the only person I can speak for, is it'll be a near complete collection of the old Capcom arcade games all in one place. I can hold it up all on my Switch or on my PS4 and go, this is that time, right? This is that time. I can play Strider, I can play Red Earth, I can play the Street Fighter series, all of them, and they're all in one collection. That's kind of what I want to have happen, but time will tell if there's physical versions of these. But a high recommendation if you're curious about the good old Capcom fighting days gone by. And another new game stuff means another copy of Shantae, this time on the PS5, Risky's Revenge, another version of it on another console. And every time I see it up in limited run, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta get it, because I really love the Shantae series and I like collecting it, and I also like getting it for the next platform. So getting things on PS5, and is this game taking advantage of the PS5? Certainly not. This is absolutely not. Is it a novelty to have in PS5? Yeah. Is the Shantae series seriously awesome? Yeah. Did I buy it again? Yeah, I did. But had to pick that up for sure. Okay. We have a combo breaker. We have a combo breaker from some of these new games. Wow. I got this for around $90, which is a steal. This is a steal for this. And you know me, the Neo Geo, I saw this for sale. I had to pick it up. Fatal Fury 2. Yes, Fatal Fury 2. Is it the best in the series? Well, there's Fatal Fury 1, this is really good. And then Fatal Fury Special, it's really good. But this game came out right in the middle, and I like it. And the one thing that I really like the most is, look at the artwork there. You don't see artwork like that anymore. Really hand done and from a different time. And I love the Neo Geo, SNK, man. I absolutely adore them. And every single Neo Geo game that I can ever kind of get my hands on and afford, and this is affordable, this is the only reason why I could jump in, I'm so thrilled, man. I mean, Fatal Fury 2 is one of those games I used to play in the arcade all the time until I saw Fatal Fury Special, then my mind melted. I was like, oh my god, look at all the extra characters and all the extra stuff. And I remember even walking into an arcade in Las Vegas, no joke, and I walked into this room and there was a row of arcade machines, all the Neo Geo machines, and all of them had dedicated Fatal Fury Special on each single one. No joke. I remember that. And there was like 5 machines, like there was a whole row of them. And I was like, oh my god, it's Fatal Fury Special. And I got that up here for sure. But we're very happy to have Fatal Fury 2 as part of the collection now. And I got a couple of cheap strategy guides. You know I always have to pick these up. And I don't just get any strategy guides. I'm very, very specific about what I buy. I buy things from like the Dreamcast era, from that zone, for games that mean something, like Sonic Adventure, right here. I had to pick this up and it was rather cheap. I think this was like $9, $10. And it's got all the maps and all the things in it. And it's a place in history for that Dreamcast launch. This was sitting on the shelf in EB Games up here in Canada, a GameStop for you guys. And I saw this and I was like, oh my god, you know, back in the day I would have picked this up. And I'm so happy to finally have it now. And it goes up there, and it goes up there with my strategy guides for Power Stone and for Blue Stinger. It's come home, man, and I'm really happy to get the Sonic Adventure, strategy guide. It just makes me wish that there was a Sonic Adventure 3. You know, there's all this other Sonic stuff they're always doing, and for me personally, I don't mind Sonic, but Sonic Adventure was my jam, and it still is, and I really wish they would have continued that on, but I guess not. Maybe one day we'll get something like that. Here we go. Had to get this. Super Mario Sunshine, a strategy guide from back in the day, and you know, brings back a lot of memories of importing, Super Mario Sunshine, and I had a modded GameCube and playing it that summer, and it was I remember it being so warm in here, and I was playing it on my Sony Wega at the time, and being in absolute heaven playing Mario Sunshine and the Japanese version. I swear to God, it was like 2 days after the release in Japan, and back then that was a very big deal. There was no Play Asia the way there is now. You can just order it, have it shipped same day. That doesn't happen. So I had to go to a store that specialized in imports, and it got shipped in, and I got a call, and I had to go and pick up the game, and it was very, very exciting, and very happy to get Mario Sunshine. And I still, there's a lot of hate towards Mario Sunshine. I don't feel it. I enjoyed the summer back then playing this game, and it means a lot to me, that's for sure. Okay, I no longer have to tell Rob to bring over a controller every time he comes over, a PS5 controller, because I only had one PS5 controller because they're so stupid to buy, but I finally did it. I finally bit the bullet, and I got this monstrosity right here, the hot pink PS5 controller, and you'd be like, why? Why would you get this controller, this absolutely ridiculous neon controller like this pink neon nightmare? Where this is back to my old Street Fighter days. I always like the second player to feel less than the main player. So I have my nice white controller, and anybody comes over has to use this one, and they're like, Oh man, the hot pink. The one thing that I will say, I'll defend this color as well. When in my sea of controllers that I have in front of me in the other room, they're all black controllers, and I'm like, wait, is that the Pro Controller? What is that? I'm grabbing all these different controllers all the time. I go, oh no, that's for the Switch. Oh, it's for the Xbox Series X. I'm like, what's happening? Do you think this will ever get misplaced? The answer is no. Absolutely not. And it's so funny when Rob comes over. I was telling him about this on the phone. I'm like, dude, I've got your controller when you come over. For sure. Even Kim was like, oh God, why did you get that color? Everybody seems to be offended by the color pink. I think it's wonderful. Enjoy coming over to my place, fighting me in Street Fighter, losing with your pink controller. Okay, a few more items. This one is extraordinary. It's extraordinary because I ordered it about 1.5 years ago, and I thought it was one of those things that was never going to show up. Ever. And I think I saw a friend of mine on Twitter ordering it for Amazon.com. We have .ca up here. And I'm like, wow, that's a very interesting item. So I hit buy, as I say, 1.5 years ago, and then I get an email like 2 weeks later saying, your item is delayed. Are you still interested? I'm like, I guess so. And it finally showed up a few weeks ago, and it's a bit of a treasure thing. It's a really unique item. I don't know if it's still available. You can check Amazon.com and enter this in, because it is a Dragon Quest item, and this is ridiculous. It is a huge Dragon Quest item. It is a mouse pad, and it's a very, very large one. Look at this. Isn't this nice? Isn't this fantastic? Look at that. I'm gonna show you real close here. I love all the slimes on the screen there. I saw this and I'm like, yep, gotta get this. It's a really big mouse pad. And to be honest with you, I will use it, but I don't want to wear it down. This is really awesome looking stuff, man. One more time with feeling. I love it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I think this is absolutely cool. I show Kim, and Kim's like, okay, that's pretty cool, but we need a bigger desk for that. And I'm like, I know. I couldn't resist. And what a great mouse pad for Dragon Quest. And very, very well done. And I hope it's one of those things that didn't just came and is gone now. I hope everybody's able to grab one of these if they're looking for it. Okay, I've only got one kind of set of items left, and I went to see a movie and I didn't get a chance to talk about it. I'll just talk about it here because it's relating to the next item. I went to see Top Gun Maverick, and boy, oh boy, did I absolutely love this movie. I saw the original movie in 1986 in Hawaii on vacation, and me and my sister went to see it, and we were both blown away. And my sister had the soundtrack. I would listen to it all the time, and it became something of an incredible time in the 80s that we didn't know would become so nostalgic. So for Rob, for his birthday, I took him to see Top Gun Maverick. And get this, he hadn't even seen the original Top Gun. And I'm like, what? So he was like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the original. I said, Rob, do me one favor. Just watch the original movie. So on his birthday night, he's having a couple of drinks. He watched the original Top Gun. Finally, I met him the next day, and he's like, oh, I had a couple of drinks last night, and I watched Top Gun. And I said, how you feeling? He's like, oh, I'm feeling good. He goes, that movie was amazing. He goes, I've only seen snippets of it over the years. I can't believe it. I've seen Top Gun like 20 plus times over the years and adore that movie and all of that. So get this, for his experience with it, he saw Top Gun the night before the original, and then he walks into a sequel like 30 plus years later. I mean, it's how extraordinary. So anyways, what happened to me is I'm watching the movie, and it made me feel like the old days of watching movies where I just got inspired. It's mid-movie, and all I kept thinking about, I know, was UN Squadron, Area 88, and how there should be a live-action movie of that, is how I'm thinking in the theater. And so, I went, bear with me, I went onto eBay, and I have a few of these. but I got the complete collection. Get this. I got this for $40. All of the Area 88 original comics from issue 1 to issue 42 here. For any of you interested, I did a review a long time ago on Area 88 UN Squadron, a shooter, a side view shooter created by Capcom for the arcades, and then it was released on the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom in Japan, and it's great. And you know, this comic book, I was reading this in like 1988, and I think I got, as I say, about 8 issues of it, but I wanted the whole kit and caboodle here. I wanted all of the issues, and so thrilled to have them because Area 88 really means something to me, and it's one of those manga now that is completely forgotten in time, and it's really, really sad that it is because it meant so much to me. And I'm telling you, if you can, try to find out a little bit more information about Area 88 and its history, because it really was a really big deal in the 80s, especially in Japan. And it's one of those things that's completely forgotten about now. And something interesting about the artist, he was an assistant to Leiji Matsumoto. So that's why you can tell the character designs really looked like something out of Galaxy Express, because he was an assistant to him. Isn't that something else? And man, he created like the most epic comics you've ever seen on aerial combat over Area 88, and these pilots that basically have to get rid of some debts in their life, and so they have to fly missions you know, against some foreign countries and foreign jets, and they're trying to get out of Area 88. They're kind of trapped there. They're kind of slaves to it, and so they're always having to go on missions to pay off their debts. And it's really something else. It's about love. It's about death. It's about friendship. It's about, you know, all those things that make a great story. And I'm telling you, when I came home from Top Gun, I was just like, man, I got to play, you know, UN Squadron on the Super Nintendo again, and I got to play some Ace Combat. Like, that's the vibes it was giving me, and great movie. You know, I'll even go as far to say an absolute, like, 8.5 out of 10 for Top Gun. Brilliant stuff. I mean, such a nostalgic thing. Anyways, guys, I mean, I've come to the end. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me talk about some items that I picked up recently. Again, let me know what you picked up in the way of video games or merchandise to do with video games. Let us know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.